So tell us a little bit about what is it that you do at the high schools?
My current job right now is I am the ASB advisor and the activities director at my current high school. So what that means is all of so there's an athletic director who handles everything athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I handle everything else. So dances, just the I guess a good title to give me would be the fun coordinator. You know, lunchtime activities. That's what I do. It's just anything else.
Multi-fun coordinator.
Multi-fun.
Multi-fun coordinator.
Absolutely.
Nice. So when you and I talked, and I'm just gonna jump right into this because there's no way to dance around this.
Sure.
Tell us about your experience that you had at one particular high school.
Sure. So I'm if it's okay, I'm gonna give a background.
Yeah.
So when I went to college, and I was the first one in either side of my family to go to college. And my original thought was I was gonna go into law, and I was going through law.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, law. My original major was a pre-law major. I wanted to go get my law degree, and I wanted to be a judge specifically. I wanted to be a TV judge, and I had it all worked out. It was going to be Justice with Josh, Judge Josh, Justice with JJ.
Yeah,
that's not out of the question. We're gonna get you Justice with Josh.
I love it.
Here we go, Justice with Josh.
And I remember I came home one weekend, and I was talking to my mom, and my mom and I have a really close relationship, and we were talking back and forth, and I remember my mom talked with me. She paused for a second, and she's really intuitive, and she said, "Josh, I don't think you should go into law." And I started to cry, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Hold up now." She said, "You are going through this journey," and I had previously had some experiences as a camp counselor. Okay. And she said, "You have an amazing ability to teach. I think you should be a teacher." And I remember I cried, and I said, "But I don't want to be poor." And she worked me through it, and she said, "But I think you need to go into education." It was the best thing that I ever did. So nice. I got my degree in Spanish education, and I got a dual minor in music education with a ballroom dance education minor as well. So a dual minor. And my first job, it was my first school, and I was just green. I went in, and I'm sure you guys have seen this in some of the they come in and they're green, and they want to change the world, and they're going to tackle the world and the world's problems. And that's how I was with this particular school.
Yeah.
And
remember that? I did our first year of law enforcement. Do you remember that? We were going to change the world.
Absolutely.
Well, I remember when you came from a state trooper agency and then you came to a city cop. So yeah. But anyway, this is about Josh.
So I went into this school, and this school that I was at was a rural school, about 800 kids in grades 9 through 12. And I remember walking in and just feeling this overall sense of depression. Mm-hmm. It was an old coal mining community who was struggling with trying to reconstruct their image and what that meant for them to be a city in the 21st century. Mm-hmm. A lot of poverty, a lot of drug use. And so I remember I walked in, and I felt this depression. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, what can I do in my own circle of influence to help better the lives of these kids and better the lives of this community? Right. And I thought, I'm going to create a ballroom dance club. I competed in ballroom dance. I competed through the professional amateur circuit, went to competitions, loved it, tore both rotator cuffs in one competition, so I moved more into the coaching aspect. And so I thought, you know what, I'll just bring the magic of the ballroom to this school, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, so tell me again how many kids actually showed up.
So I talked to my principal. I said, I have this idea. He said, great, we're not going to pay you for it because we don't have the money. And I said, it doesn't matter. I'm willing to do it anyway.
Right.
And so I had an information meeting, and out of the 800 kids that attended the school, I had 175 that showed up.
Wow. Show me one athletic sport that has that many kids that shows up. Okay.
And you're not going to get paid for it.
I'm not going to get paid for it.
That is dedication.
I mean, that's amazing in and of itself.
Absolutely.
So, good job, man.
Thank you. I remember, our rooms were, I originally had it in the classroom because I thought I could fit it. We had the fire marshal come say, you are over capacity. So we moved it to the cafeteria. And so had this information meeting, and it originally started out as a group dance lesson. And it was just, if you want to come an hour after school, let's interact with each other, let's build connections with each other, let's dance, let's create, have that be okay. About, I would say 6 weeks through this dance lesson, I had a group of kids come to me and say, Mr. Rao, we know that there are ballroom dance competitions. We want to go.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Before you told them?
Before I told them. Before I told them anything about my experience with ballroom and the competition circuit.
That's awesome.
And so I said, okay, here's the deal. If we're going to do this, then it means I get you 2 hours a day, 5 days a week from here until March.
Sure.
And they said, we'll find the couples. We'll find the couples. And I said, okay. So that was on a Friday. I came back Monday, and I had 100. I will always remember this. I had 300 voicemails and 175 emails. No, I'm sorry. 300 emails and 175 voicemails from different community members of this particular community, asking, demanding, threatening my life, death threats, demanding to know what I was doing, spreading the gay agenda to this community.
Wow. Like it's a flu virus. Or
like it's a flu virus,
oh my
right?
gosh.
And
now,
especially something like ballroom, where it requires both sexes to be able to dance. You know.
So if you touch somebody, they're going to be gay.
Right. God forbid.
So that's why we do this.
Right.
Because you know what? We are brothers in healing. And
absolutely.
Here to show you it's not true.
Absolutely.
So you had some success though.
Absolutely.
When you took the kids quite far.
Yeah.
Tell us about
so
that.
The competition.
This was prior to the emails, right?
Yes.
You took them.
Actually, this is after the emails.
Oh, after
so
the emails.
I had the emails.
Got it.
And I decided, you know what, these kids deserve this and deserve this experience to go out. And so my old ballroom coach organizes the national show dance competition in Rexburg, Idaho. Okay. And I really like his philosophy. Because sometimes you get into these competitions, I don't care what sport it is, and it's all about, win first place and do the best and rub your nose in it. That's not his gig. His gig is all about the dancer and the journey of the dancer.
Right. Yes.
And so it's a 2-day competition. I always got out there the day before, and I gave my kids a chance to tour the local college campus. They got to see the world champion ballroom dance team rehearse. Yeah. They got to be able to dance with that specific team, and see what college dance life was like. Yeah. And so then the next day, the full day is all team competitions. And so they were able to see different teams and get ideas and get inspired, because again, it's all about the dancer. It doesn't matter the first, second, third place. It's all about what is your journey and what have you learned since you
how do you feel about yourself?
Absolutely.
How do you feel about yourself?
Absolutely. And so that first day was always the team competitions, and then the second day was always the individual competitions. At the end of the first day, what is unique to this competition is at the end of the day, they do a 1-hour dance where every team can get together with all different dancers, and you get to dance with each other. Just building that camaraderie and building that idea that through dance, you can create pictures no matter who your partner is. Right. I mean, it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how did your kids place? Tell us about that.
Third in the nation both years.
Third in the nation.
Third in the nation.
These were kids that never had any dance experience ever. Now, did they work their butts off? Absolutely. 2 hours, and I pushed my dancers. Yeah. I believe that as coaches, that my dancers are an extension of me. And so I am not going to set my dancers out on the floor unless they're ready to compete with the best of the best. Right. And there have been years that I've pulled that where you guys are not ready, and so I'm not going to set you out there. Right.
So you have this success going on, but you also have this dirty little secret, or not? It's not a secret anymore. It's this hate going on.
It's this hate.
Scenes,
we had during the time, and this team, I will forever remember both years that I ran this team, because I kid you not, these kids, they came from a variety of different backgrounds. Some were drug addicts, some were gay, some were straight, some were the jocks, some were the book nerds, but they all came together to create this beautiful family all through dance, and they had some of the most ugliest things happen. I remember the football coach at the time. I had half his team come to the informational meeting. I had half of his team, half of his guys come out, and I remember this particular coach was the one that really kind of led the charge. I had guys afterwards that would come back and just in tears saying, "Mr. Rail, we really want to participate in your ballroom team, but our coach said if you want to be gay, you can go join Mr. Rail on the dance floor, or if you want to be a real man, you can join me on the football field."
Wow.
Or I would have wrestlers go to my guys and say, "You're a fag. How dare you dance? How dare you try this out?" You know, and have that be okay with adults.
Wow.
This makes me so angry. I mean,
Yeah.
that literally
It's
makes me
so
so
sad.
angry.
It's so sad. So then you moved from that school district, and now you go to another one.
Correct.
And you had and I now with this school district, I've had the opportunity, not on the level that Chris has, but see you interact with the kids, and you're amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think we need more people like you.
Thank you.
That can relate to the kids, and they just gravitate towards you.
I
You know?
appreciate that.
Can I
Yeah.
say something?
Of course you can.
In our school district, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, when you watch the kids come around you and walk up to you and hug you,
Yeah.
Mr. Rail, Mr. Rail, Mr. Rail, it's amazing.
Thank
I
you.
sit back, I get jealous. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I get jealous because I try to do so much in my profession
Yeah.
at the school, but I watch you and I go, you are amazing.
Thank you.
You are fucking amazing. I'm
Thank
going to
you
use
so
that
much.
word because I watch it every day.
That means
Yeah.
a lot. That means a lot.
No, he's absolutely true. I've seen it too. So you definitely have a gift of relating to
you.
people. I think that's what makes you so amazing. You know.
Thank you.
So tell us about the incident that you had at this school district, particular one.
So, at my current school district, I've been there now. I'm going on my 5th year.
Okay.
5th year. So my first year, I came to the district and it was great. You know, I think it was that new,
Yeah.
you know, that new toy vibe. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
oh, let's see, check out the new guy. Let's.
Yeah.
My second year, we got in a group of freshmen, and each class has their own vibe to it. I will forever maintain it. They have their own vibe, they have their own culture, they have their own way of doing things. And we just got a wild group in. And so I'll give you kind of the events over the course of that year. It's my
Sure.
second year. And so that was when I first went into the leadership route. I hadn't taken over ASB. I was the leadership class teacher, and so I went to a football game and I had a student. So, you know, and you always have students go, "Hey, let's take a picture, football game," you know, woo! Yeah. And so I had a student who asked to take his picture with me, and after some investigation, found out he had altered the image to make it look like he was grabbing my crotch, and on social media said, "Oh, this is my es mi papi," which in Spanish is, "Hey, this is my sugar daddy." So I reported that to administration,
and I remember it.
Yeah, and so that was in October, and that had never happened to me as a teacher before. It was wild to me.
Can I interject?
Please.
And it was founded. Nothing was true.
Yeah.
It was a complete false accusation. And I'm so thankful that we were able to prove that.
Me too.
But for you to bring that up in front of everybody, that is so awesome.
It was crazy. So one of the things that I noticed about our students when it comes to teachers is they really like to see their teachers go to their extracurricular activities. Our kids, our students respond to that because for them it means that you are coming to them. It means that you are trying to to branch out and reach out. And so
Outside of school.
outside of school,
Outside of school.
absolutely, it matters to our students. And so I went to a basketball game, and true to form, I had a stack of papers that I was grading and watching a basketball game. And after the game, I was walking back to my car, and I was approached by two parents with their students, and these dads had shoved me up against my car and demanded to know why the district hired a faggot teacher to teach their
Wow.
students.
Wow.
Um,
So you reported that incident, and what were you told?
So I reported that incident, and I was told that as long as I kept that quiet, then I still got to have a job.
As long as you keep quiet, you'll still have your job. Wow. Way to lend support to somebody who's been assaulted for doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Awesome. Well, that had to have been a triggering event for you, because this is not the first time that you've been assaulted or bullied or harassed, right?
Well, it brought back everything that I experienced at my first school that I was hired at, and I just started reliving that, and it's hard for me to explain, but it's like I started reliving all of the harassment over again, and I started going through these PTSD like symptoms, going, hey, I'm gonna get fired, and not knowing if I was gonna get fired one day from the next.
For being you.
Yeah.
For just being a normal human being.
Yeah.
So, when did you know that you were gay? At what age or grade do you think you kind of like?
So this is gonna be a long answer.
Sure.
I suspected about 6th grade.
6th grade. Okay.
6th grade. Did I think about it when I was younger? Sure.
Okay.
But I just shrugged it off.
Well,
like
sure.
you, especially as a little kid, you don't know
Right.
what all this jargon means. You know, and I didn't start putting things together till I was the 6th grade. But I grew up I was born and raised Mormon.
Okay.
My family is I've got members of my family. My parents are wonderful people who converted to the church later in life, and so they raised us, and they're wonderful people. But I was born and raised Mormon. I left the church partway through my college years, and so for me, even though I suspected, the dialogue in the church at that time was if you are going to go to heaven, and if you are going to be a good Mormon, then you can't be gay.
Oh.
Wow. So you had the pressure of society, and then you had the pressure of your church, and the pressure of your family.
Correct.
All combined into one nice little neat package.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Your whole life. Your whole life is your pressure at that moment.
Absolutely. And it was one of those things that, for me, the thing, if you were a rail, the thing that we believe most in is family. At every single point of my life, when things got tough, whether it was when we were homeless, when I was going through my cancer treatment, whatever it was, when Dad lost his job, you rallied together as a family, and you supported the family.
Right.
You rallied the troops. My best friend, he said, "Holy cow, you guys are super Irish," and I was really confused. I was like, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "You are loud, you are obnoxious, you make your voices heard, but at the end of the day, you put aside the bullshit.
Yeah.
You link arms, you clan up, and you get shit done." And that is what my family is all about.
Right.
And so, for me, because I knew my parents believed so much in the church, my mom, I'm from a different marriage, and so my mom, when she announced to my biological dad that she was pregnant with me, my biological dad said, "Abort it." That was his first thing. Do not give birth to this thing. And my mom, being the strong
thing.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But my mom, being the strong woman that she is, went, "No, we're not gonna do this."
Right.
My dad went through a lot of emotional abuse himself growing up, and so for him to get married to a woman who was pregnant with another guy's son,
Right.
and then to adopt me without question, to put his name, his last name is mine,
Right.
without any question, like, for me growing up, knowing that whatever I was going through personally, be it messed up or not, because of my love and my dedication to my parents, I put that aside.
Right.
You know.
So that added an extra layer on
Absolutely.
you staying kind of covert
Absolutely.
in your feelings. Okay, got it.
Absolutely.
And then you were kind of sharing with me that one of the reasons that you didn't, kind of fight more, stick up for yourself as from a worker standpoint is you shared with me a little bit about what you learned.
Yeah.
Can you share that?
So current study, currently in the United States. Now, mind you, this is the same country that is going currently through a teacher shortage nationwide.
yeah.
Huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huge teacher shortage. Depending on the state that you live in. The current statistics are 35 to 40% of all gay men, of all gay people who are teachers lose their job because of coming out.
Wow, 35%.
Say that again.
For being
Say that again.
35 to 40%. 35 to 40% of all gay people who come out, all teachers who come out lose their job because of their orientation.
jobs.
Wow.
Even if, let's say they were teacher of the year,
Absolutely.
they will, oh my gosh.
Absolutely. And it's because of the perceptions that we have around, what homosexuality is.
Right. So you and I were talking, and you had this kind of like moment in your life where you got to spend some time by yourself and just work through your emotions.
Yeah.
Share with us that journey.
So one of the things to understand is, I think as far as a scope, here I am, a kid who was raised in the Mormon religion, who's very conservative in his beliefs, who's honoring his parents, who went to church schools, church affiliated schools. And so there is a way for a little bit of time to be able to convince yourself, hey, maybe I'm not this way. To put those feelings aside.
You're trying to trick yourself.
Yeah.
Suppress.
Yeah.
Suppression.
It's suppression because, with how I was raised, it was, you couldn't be gay and be Mormon. You couldn't. And so you couldn't be gay and go to BYU. You couldn't be gay and out and you just, and especially with what I felt for my parents, I didn't want to bring them that shame, I had a friend of mine who was gay who came out, and he said if he could go back and do it all over again, one of the things that he wished he would have considered was what it did for religious parents. Because it's one thing to be gay and come out, but then what happens in religious communities, whether it's Mormon or Christian or Jehovah or whoever, the parents of the son have to come out, or the parents of the daughter have to come out as, hey, yes, that is my kid and they're gay. And in religious communities, what that does is that that starts the conversation of, well, what did you do wrong to raise your kids so that they were gay?
So the problem is they have to admit my child is this way, and now they have to explain themselves.
And now they have to explain themselves, and they have to, and parents are faced with the decision. It's either stand up for my kid, or not, or disown them. So it's a coming out process, all for the parents as well. And so,
so one more layer added.
It's just one more layer, and so, and again, this was I want to make sure. This was no fault of my parents. My parents raised me because they had been baptized in as converts to the church. They felt, and they came from their own abuse situations of themselves. They really felt important as they started their marriage, that it was really important to have a marriage where if kids disagreed, it was a healthy space to do so. And so I have brothers and sisters. I've got brothers and sisters all over the gambit. Some are still active in the church. Some are not active in the church and doing their own thing. For my parents, what matters most is the relationship they have with the kid. And that's how I was raised.
Sure.
That, and so, but regardless, I still knew of the parent layer, and I didn't want to do anything that brought them, for lack of a better term, dishonor or shame or whatever. I was the person that, I was the first person on either side of my family that went to college. So
you're carrying this pressure, this bag, this weight on your back, and you decide to get on Groupon. And take a trip. Tell
Groupon. Groupon, I kid you not, best kept travel secret. Believe me this. Groupon, you can sponsor me, I'll go on. So I came to this realization that it was time for me to start traveling. I love traveling.
Sure.
And so I was just perusing and I saw trips for Groupon. And I saw particularly this one for London. And as a kid, I've always been fascinated. I don't know what it is.
London. I'd love to go to London.
London it's always fascinated me. The history, the art, the culture. I always believe that each person has its own city
Yeah.
that just draws them in,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And London was that city to me. And that was the first time in years I'd ever done something for myself.
Mm.
You know, because for years, just the nature of what the circumstances of my family was is you link up, you clan up, you bound together.
Right.
And so this was the first time that I had a chance to do something for me. So booked a trip on Groupon for London, 4-star hotel, round trip flight, shuttle to and from the airport, breakfast every day, $500 for the week. And
Wow.
I ate it up. But it was the first time that I was able to do stuff for myself and be able to,
Yeah.
I don't know, have that time with myself to
Yeah.
figure out where I was. And it was finally that time, that quiet space. You know, I wasn't a student anymore. I didn't
Right.
have studies. I wasn't a
Right.
missionary. I wasn't, you know, it was that week where I could be just Josh.
Nobody
Right.
judged you.
Yeah, nobody judged me. I went and I was able to have that time to really reflect. I'm a big person that believes in the power of reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, and I don't know what it was, for the lack of a better term, it was a very spiritual experience for me,
Yeah.
you know, because it was, holy shit,
Right.
I am gay.
Right.
And that's okay. And I'm still loved, and I'm still amazing, and I'm still a fantastic human
Yeah.
being.
Oh,
And it was all in the privacy of my hotel room.
Yeah.
awesome.
So did you finally came to terms with who you are as
Yeah.
a person, and
Yeah.
you said to yourself, "I'm okay with this."
I'm okay
person."
with this.
I
This
love
is
that. That's
this
so
is
cool.
the reality of who I am.
Right.
And there is a beauty and there is a magic, and I, you know, and even when during those years where I was struggling with what it meant to be gay and possibly Mormon, I always loved myself. But then this trip to London really just kind of solidified that.
Yeah.
That, you know what, who I am, as you see, it
It's
is
who I
okay.
am.
And it is
Yeah.
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Who I am is who I am.
Yes, sir.
I like it, buddy.
Yes,
Give me
sir.
some.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That okay. I love that. So, you know, and I think that's so important for people to hear
Yeah,
out there.
Yeah.
You know, if you're struggling, you know, you were made a certain way, accept it. And, you
Mhm.
know, not everybody will accept you, but that's okay. The real people will,
Mhm.
you know, and that I think that's so important.
Absolutely.
It's,
What advice do you have for parents and kids in this area?
So I heard it said best, and I know this sounds super cliche, and I'm so sorry. RuPaul, world famous drag queen.
RuPaul.
Okay?
Okay.
RuPaul. He said, as gay people, we have the unique opportunity to be able to choose our family. I
Right.
don't think that's limited to just gay people.
No.
I think we
Yeah,
really have
right.
that unique opportunity as humans, regardless of the family that you were born into or things of blood. We have that opportunity to be able to choose our family. As humans, as human beings, we deserve the right to be able to surround ourselves with those that are going to support us and believe
Right.
in us and lift us up and build us up. We deserve that.
Respect us and love us.
Completely.
Yes.
Without any pretense, without
Mhm.
Sure.
without any other garbage to go along with it. And so for parents, especially for parents who have a gay kid, even if you suspect, just love them. Just love them. Just support them, whatever they may be. My dad is 6'4" in the rest of his family. And I remember a major conflict that he and I had was to play tackle football or to not to play tackle football. I came out of the womb wanting to dance and rhinestones,
Yeah.
so it ruined it.
That's awesome.
And my dad has always supported me as a result. Going, no,
Oh,
this is Josh.
Yeah.
This is Josh, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna love him for it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the biggest thing. That process, whatever that coming out process may be, whether it's sexual orientation, maybe it's struggles, maybe, hey, mom,
Yeah.
dad, I'm not a math whiz, I'm more of a science
Right.
whiz,
Right.
or whatever that coming out process may be. Let the kid, that journey is unique to each person. We did that ourselves, and it's important to allow each kid to have that controlled environment and that controlled space to be able to discover and come into what they are themselves.
what their successful life is going to be, because
Absolutely.
not all of us are the same. All three of us
Absolutely.
have different
Yeah.
Have different
life
journey.
goals. We have different strengths. All this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But our parents have to let us express it.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
love that. I love that. Well, as we close here, what do you feel is important, to share with those people that are watching?
No matter what the struggle, I obviously have a very unique perspective being a gay person, and specifically being a gay teacher,
Sure.
in a time, and having my experiences as a Mormon, being raised in the Mormon church, whatever those experiences are, I think it's important. We live in a society right now where, unfortunately, being gay or having whatever other affliction, it's like a treasure map.
Mhm.
Like, hey, I found out,
Mhm.
and you win this sadistic prize.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to realize that each person comes out on their own time, especially if they are gay.
Mhm.
That journey is unique. Some people come out of the womb knowing, hey, and they come out spitting glitter and rainbows and unicorns, and that is
Yes.
unique to them.
Yeah.
For me,
Right.
I came out later in life, and that's okay too. Each person's journey is different, and to allow that time, even if you may suspect that your child or your friend or your coworker may be gay,
Yeah.
allow them to have that time to come to grips with what that means for them, because we give titles to everything,
Yep.
whether it's teacher, whether it's being gay, whether it's being religious, whether it's being Christian,
Right.
but that under all of those, or whatever other title, but each and every one of those titles looks so different depending on the person.
Yes.
Allow them that time to be
Yes.
able to
Mhm.
come to grips, and if they love you and if they trust you, they'll bring you in on the journey.
I
They
love
really
it.
will.
I
And
love it.
and embrace them. I'm gonna tell you guys this on right. Like I knew. So I have a sister. I have a sister who is gay.
Yeah.
I have a sister who I'm going to her wedding in August. And
That's so cool.
people have talked about gay, being racist, being all this kind of stuff. And my sister is going to marry a black female,
I love
and
it.
I cannot wait to accept her. I've been on FaceTime with her and said, welcome to
love
the
it.
family already.
That's cool.
Because you know what? We as a country have to surround everybody, and it doesn't matter your sexual orientation,
Mhm.
your racial, whatever you are.
Whatever you are.
Until we can all come together and figure out that, you know what, we all have our different issues. We all have problems. I got more problems than I can tell you about right now. We all have more problems. But until we can come together as a family,
Yeah.
we're not going to be a country.
That's so key. That's so key. And as we close up here, I'm really excited to learn more from Josh. As we were talking and prepping for this interview, I found out that Josh went through some extensive conversion therapy, and we talked in length, and I've decided that that's a whole nother episode. So those of you who are interested, please stay tuned, because this story is not over.
Oh my
But
gosh.
this segment is, and that is an eye-opening experience, and it's crazy to hear the experience that he had. So this journey here today is not over. We have more coming up, fortunately, with Josh, because I think we can all learn so much from this amazing man. So in closing, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jeremy. This is a good friend of mine named Josh Rail. Love this man.
I'm Chris Sutherland, and I'm going to do this before we go away. I just want, I love this brother. I want you to know that I love you, dude. I love you.
Love you. Thanks for having me here, guys.
Right here, bud.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for watching us, guys, and please follow us later on because we have so much more to give.
We're brothers in healing. Take care.